Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. My name is Octoman, and I'm your instructor in the next couple of hours in how to create a Brick Breaker 3D game in Unity. Brick Breaker in the past also was known as Arkanoid, and this game was played on Atari and some other consoles, and actually video consoles or video game consoles, as well as on the PC. And currently, there are even some on the Wii U, I guess, as well as on PlayStation 4 and so on and so forth. This is the concept video, so we are going to talk about what is Arkanoid or what is Brick Breaker, what is the goal, and what is going on in the game, as well as we are talking about what we need to create a game like that, as well as we gonna go into some little details here and there so you get an idea about what this course is going to be about as well. So first off, this is kind of the end result we are going to see later on. That is like where we're gonna have a pedal on the bottom, which is going to be the pedal for which we can move left and right. Where then we have a ball, which is going to be the ball, which has to be brought to all the bricks in the top, as well as we need to make sure that the ball, whenever it hits the bricks, it's going to reduce their health, and whenever the health is down to 0, the brick is destroyed, and once the brick is destroyed, we get some score. If all the bricks are destroyed, we are basically done with the level. So we have won this particular level. We can, if we want to, on lose or on win, doesn't matter. We can save the score later on as we want to, or if we want to, or give some out some stars, or maybe we can also hook up some time into it, and so on and so forth. Also, we're gonna have a text over there which we can fill like manually or automatically. It depends on how we are going to create those systems later on, in which we just say, okay, this is level 1 of 1,000 or whatever. Also, we have some health, or basically some lives. So whenever the little ball hits the little red bar at the bottom, which is going to be the dead trigger zone, literally, whenever that hits the trigger zone, then we lose a life because we are unable to play the ball anymore, and we're gonna get a new one as long as we have more lives or enough lives left. The ball will also actually collide with the border of the screen. So we are going to take a look into this a bit deeper later on, depending on whatever the resolution of your screen is going to be. We want to have something which is automatically going to protect the ball to not leave the screen. So no matter what, if it is a landscape mode or if it is a portrait mode, doesn't matter if it is on Android, and it doesn't matter on PC. All of that doesn't matter at all. We just want to make sure that the ball is unable to leave the screen, except on the bottom part, do through the dead zone over there. So that is basically everything. So whenever we don't have any lives left, of course, the game is over, the level is over. We probably save the score if you want to. We don't have to. And we also, whenever the one of the bricks get destroyed, we can play some small, let's say, particle effect if we want to. So we're gonna get some nice effects over there. Also, I have some background over here, which is just a, let's say, a square or like a semi-square, which has a rounded backside, and we're gonna maybe animate some UVs onto that, which is also a 3D model. We're gonna take a look at how we can animate UVs quite a bit just by using some coding, as well as we don't go over the level design or the UI design, because that is totally up to you. So I just give you probably this one I just created over here, so you can actually play around with that. Same for the 3D models. If you don't like these, of course, you can always create your own. So let's talk about some topics. So the first one is level design in itself, as well as editor scripting, scriptable objects, as well as simple level design setup. So first off, editor scripting is something for intermediate people. So if you are actually new to game development, I recommend watching something else about probably, or maybe you start somewhere else, or you just follow up and you will go to the final result no matter what. I just explain everything on the course. So what we are going to do with editor scripting and so on and so forth. Also, I'm gonna go explain what a scriptable object is, which is let's say not necessary, but is easier later on to put that, for example, into a list and so on. So we are going to take a look into lists, floats, integers, strings. We're gonna take a look into scriptable objects, editor scripting, and so on and so forth. So a lot of topics. We go and look into coroutines and so on as well. So whatever which we need in case of coding, that's what we're gonna make use of. So be prepared for that. There will be quite some coding we're gonna have to take care of there of. And also there will be some simpler things like a game manager system and so on and so forth, like who holds the score, where do we save that if we need to save that, and so on and so forth. Completely stuff we are going to take a look into. So also we're going to take a look into vector2s and all the other stuff. As well as you can see over here, we're going to take use of or make use of lists, classes, and all the other good stuff like integers, floats, as I already explained before. So when it comes to level design itself, we want to create some level designer script, which is going to handle the start position of our actual grid. We're going to talk about that whenever we start there. We want to have a possibility to tint all the bricks. So if you take a look into these colors over here and also their transparency, you probably figure that these are going to be these ones. But, and since we want to automate that, so the levels are every time, so we just create them inside a scriptable object. I'll show an interface for that in a second as well. We want to make sure that this gets automatically created, automatically spaced, automatically placed into the scene. That's what the level designer is going to be for. Also, we have like a distance x and y, like the distance between two stones. And if we don't use stones, you can actually use anything. You can even use raindrops if you want to, or any other stuff, whatever you place and like. And this is what we need to keep track of the distance between the actual stones. Also, we're gonna have an odd offset. I don't have an image for that, but literally it just offsets the stones to like the half of that. So we have like a brick wall style, I would say, a brick wall style possibilities, and you can design that once again however you like. Also, we can change how high the offset should be. And then we have this little level itself over here, which is going to once again sit in a scriptable object, which only looks like that. So when we are looking into this, we can see there are just some oneers, some twoers, some threeers, and two fours. And when I just go up here again, these are the fours, these are the threes, the green ones are the twos, and the red ones are the ones. So basically what we do is we create a system which reads the colors, actually calculates and creates the stones, like my jelly bricks over here. We're gonna go over and cover these as well. And then we automate it so that whenever however we have set it up, this grid with its current grid size, so each level can be created differently. We wanna make use of such a grid, so we can just say, okay, we wanna have a brick of number 1, so we're gonna take a look into this brick list over here, color it, and position it wherever it has a 1 over there. So that is actually how we want later on to go into level design. So everything is super simple to set up, and you can, like, if you want to, literally create hundreds and thousands of different levels by just this easy setup over here. Of course, if there is an offset, you just need to take care of that. Some of these maybe have a 0. So as you can see, if there are zeros inside, no bricks are going to be created at these points, as you can see on the screenshot over there. Then whenever we are done with the level designer itself, we want to take a look into score management. So how do we actually get score per destroyed brick? Also, we're going to take a look into physics in this particular case, because we are going to make use of rigid body components. So whenever the ball collides to somewhere, that it's actually able to bounce back into the opposite direction, or opposite minus the incoming ankle, as well as whenever we hit the pedal more on the left side, that we bring the ball more to the left side, and vice versa, bringing the ball to the right side or more to the right side, depending on how far it is away from the center point. Also, we need to have later on some kind of a level management system in which we can load level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by just using simple user interface buttons. And the final, or almost final one, is we want to have an automatically resizing frame, which is screen resolution unrelated, so we can block the ball from leaving the screen over the complete outside. We cannot see them over here because I just blended those out. We're going to take a look into this as well. And also we're going to take a look into the pedal, so we keep that in screen as well based on the auto resized frame, as well as we want to make sure that we can resize it like over time or like instant if you want to. And also we want to have a left-right movement, so we can move that with the arrow keys as an example, or with just horizontal inputs like the A and the D button on the keyboard. And if there is some time later on as well, we're also going to take a look into how we can drag it around with a touch, like, let's say with a left mouse click, so we can literally move the pedal left and right based on or following the mouse click over there. But for the moment we just go for the keyboard input. Then of course we have a game manager which we need to script, which takes care of how many lives we have, if the game has been lost or won. And the bricks themselves are going to have just simple things like how much health do they have left, because one brick can have like 10 health, another one just 1. So it's harder to destroy maybe one or the other. So we're going to take a look into that as well. And we probably drop some power ups or power downs, like debuffs or buffs, which we can trigger the pedal to be resizing over time, making it bigger or smaller if it is a debuff. Also, we are able to, let's assume, create a multi-ball thing, or maybe there's something shooting from the pedal, so it's something like 3 seconds. We have bullets coming out of the pedal or from somewhere next to the pedal, which are able to destroy these little boxes there as well. And whenever they hit the boxes or this little jelly bricks, the jelly bricks lose health at this point as well. There are probably hundreds and thousands of other different buffs and debuffs we can implement, and so on and so forth. We can also put in something like as extra later on, being with coins or whatever your ideas are going to be in this particular case. So that is basically everything we're going to take a look into, and probably some more things here and there left and right. So depending on, well, whatever is necessary, we're going to take a quick look into user interface design. Well, not too much, but how do we resize these, let's say, text elements according to whatever the screen resolution is. So we always keep track on that as well. So whenever some people may only want to have like the portrait mode, so it's like upside down, or the landscape mode, like left to right, both basically should work in the end over there. And once again, you are literally responsible for your own design in the total manner. So whenever you think my models are not good enough, but for learning purposes, these are going to fit pretty much at 100% as necessary. And once again, feel free to implement your own 3D models as well as your own user interface design at this point. Or maybe later on we're also gonna take a look into a combo system, which means if in a couple of seconds or maybe in 1 second after a destroyed brick, another brick has been hit, then we probably put a number in the bottom or over here in the center, in the top center, where we can actually get some combos, and we can, based on those combos, we can implement the score over there as well. Of course, that is kind of luck based, but probably that is something interesting. You want to take a look into this later on. So that is everything we are going to take care on this take care of in this course. So if you're interested into it, feel free to join me on my little journey in how to create a Brick Breaker 3D game in Unity Engine. So, and I hope to see you in the course. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you later.